This is considered one of the most influential books of all time. And when I say influential, I mean really influential, like right up there with the Bible. It's largely been forgotten. It has many lessons, ones that millennials, and I'm talking to all of you out there who might be watching this, that this book is worth perhaps picking up. When we think of midlife, we almost always think of midlife crisis as being part and parcel of that. And for most Americans, that the idea of a midlife crisis is associated with what we kind of know from the boomers. Men buying flashy sports cars, getting hair plugs, and marrying a younger woman, and effectively trying to deny their own mortality. Millennials, though, haven't had a lot of the privileges and perks predecessor generations have enjoyed, partly because difficulties finding early employment and career liftoff, but they're still coming up on those important benchmarks of the 40s. And as a consequence, they're almost certainly going to have that dreaded midlife crisis. This is where Passages comes in. This book was written by Gail Sheehy back in the 1970s. She was a feminist, a journalist, and she had her own midlife crisis precipitated by surviving Bloody Sunday. She came out of that thinking, I've already used up half my life. What am I going to do? And she ends up writing this amazing book, which is about, as the title would suggest, passages from one stage of life to another. She had the trying 20s, the forlorn 40s, the deadline decade from 35 to 45, the refreshed or resigned 50s. These all signified key passages where, as you move into adulthood, your challenges change, sometimes because you have kids, you get promoted, or, God forbid, you get older and you start to confront your own mortality. The reason this is so interesting is that she delivered these messages to readers in the 70s, and if millennials pick it up, to readers today, without any of the kind of moralizing and scolding millennials so often get, because she recognized that passages from one stage of life to another, when they're attended by crises, they're not a function of individual shortcomings, and they're definitely not a function of generational shortcomings. In other words, if a millennial has a midlife crisis, it's not because they're narcissistic or selfish, it's because they're turning 40. Before you read the book, though, one word of warning. Gail Sheehy was a dutiful, progressive feminist, writing, though, a long time ago. And as a consequence, the message of the book seems more at times tailored to white, well-educated, upper-middle-class readers. Despite being a product of its time, it's still an eminently readable, accessible, inspiring book that will tell you in no uncertain terms that as much as you may feel crisis now, it's all going to be okay. And it might also spare you the indignity of buying a sports car.